Hello, brother. It's Chad Buck, and wanted to show you something that I got. Okay, so this is the first month right here. That's day one. We know 7 days in a week. We know that. Well, I've already talked about this, so you kind of get this. But I wanted to show you. This is how it is in the first year. Okay, now this right here is how it is in the second year. In the second year, see how the feast of unleavened bread falls on the fourth day of the week, and the sacred assembly, the last day of the feast of unleavened bread, falls on the 21st, on the third day of the week. See how it's different from the first? It's different from the first year, because of, okay, and that's how it is. In the third year, this is how it is. See, I want you to recognize Passover. In each one of these Passover, this is your third year, this is your fourth year. Passover's on this day. Okay? In the fifth year, Passover is then, on the fifth day. Okay? In the sixth year, Passover is on the first day of the week. And something unique that happens, and I want you to understand this. This is what I'm trying to show you. Notice how Passover, in the seventh year, the year for canceling debts, the year for setting you're supposed to set your servants free. The seventh year. This is also the year of land Sabbath. Okay, so this is the year for canceling all debts. Now I want you to know, Jesus is our Passover lamb, right? He was crucified on Passover. Okay, now we know that when they went to the tomb on the first day of the week, he wasn't there. So count back 1, 2, 3 days and 3 nights. You know, the prophecy of Jonah, as he was in the belly of the whale for 3 nights, 3 days and 3 nights, so shall it be with the Son of Man. Jesus was in the garden with his people. He just, when the twilight went down here, he celebrated with his disciples the Passover at twilight after the sun went down, which when the sun goes down on this day, it becomes the 14th day. So he went by night, and at night he was, finally betrayed, and by morning he was before Pilate, and then they beat him and led him up to the hill, and by noon he was crucified. Am I right? He was on the cross for so long, and about before sundown he was taken down and he was put in the tomb. See right here? This is a special no work day, a special Sabbath. See, we were always taught that he died on Good Friday, but to do the math, folks, that's not it. He was empty here. So count back 1, 2, 3. That's how many days he was in the grave. Okay? And then he rose on the third day. He rose on the third day. Now, when they went there in the morning, he was gone. So he had to have left this night on the Sabbath. Makes sense to me. Anyway, so he died on the cross here. This was a special no-work holiday. So they didn't go and embalm him. Being that it's a couple days journey and they're walking about, and this is a Sabbath too, they didn't come until this day in order to relieve him to embalm him, and put the perfumes on him. But praise God, he was gone because he rose from the dead in the year of canceling debts. So this is the 7th year. See, in the 6th year, he couldn't have done it on the 6th year. If he died on Passover, none of that makes sense. And it's that way all the way through. There's only one time that he could have done it. And it was on the time of the 7th year. You see? Now, but because the calendar that the Jews use is the calendar of the Medes and Persians, it is fixed with the equinox. And God's calendar proceeds to the equinox. So it just so happened on the day when they were celebrating their Passover, it just so happened to fall on the day of God's holy calendar. Because this is not the same as the calendar as the Medes and Persians. You can take and you can count 42 of their months on that so-called Hebrew calendar, and you can start anywhere, and it does not add up to 1,260 days. But let me show you something. See this? This is the 4th year. Okay? So what we have is a time, times, and half a time. So I'm going to go and I'm going to show you half a time is right here. See that right there? The 30th day of the 6th month falls on the Sabbath. And that is exactly 42 months. That is exactly 42 months to the millisecond. And it does add up to 1,260 days. You see? From here over to there is a time, times, and half a time. You see? And right here, the first day of the 7th month starts right there. And from here all the way to the end of the book, that day right there, the 30th day of the 12th month in the 7th year, is another time, times, and half a time. And hence, folks, you get